The Ministry of Interior, the spokesperson, Kay Galekau. At 11 a.m., we have information about the locations where drones and missiles debris were found, provided by the National Police Headquarters. So they're looking for the, what happens with drones. So, the first question in my brain is, why on earth would Russia do this? Is it to provoke? But why do you want to provoke as Russia? You don't want any more trouble. You're already really struggling with Ukraine. Is it to see how Poland reacts? You know what I think? My opinion? My opinion is Russia knows that they know that if the West will go serious, they will be annihilated. And I think, in my opinion, this is kind of showing strength. Look, Poland, we're Russia, we're really, really strong and evil. I think this is a bit of deterrence. It's a bit of faking strength. That's what I believe. British Prime Minister Stramer condemns this. Oh, can anyone still read stuff like that? I deeply condemned what happened. Thoughts and prayers. It's like, does anyone still listen to that? The moment I watch the news and a guy comes out like, hello everyone, hello. We have been assessing this situation very deeply and we're sending our thoughts and prayers to the Polish people. This is outrageous. This is crazy what they're doing. I'm not gonna drink my tea. Okay, wait. Questions later. Thank you so much. I gotta go. I have a speech for $10,000. Bye. It's like, who cares anymore? One policeman killed and two wounded and two more civilians wounded in a landmine explosion. Teenagers, 14 and 15, who are used by the Russian Federation to prepare a terrorist attack explosives were detained in Lvov. Oh my god. They probably were Counter-Strike players. Drone fragments are found in Poland. Tusk were closer to a conflict than at any other time than World War II. It must feel weird, right? I can't imagine this, but I'm imagining as a German that I am, if they tell me that 10 Russian drones just disrespected us, I'll be kind of hearing the war drums too, man. Prime Minister Donald Tusk, Article 4 is just the beginning of the operation for the security of our skies and our borders. It's in Polish, is it? Approximately 12,000 police officers are involved in the search of drone debris. Tusk also said there's no reason to claim today that we are in a state of war, but there's no doubt that this provocation exceeds the limits. Russia really just wants to be the villain. They want to be the fucking villain. It's like they're asking for it. There's no reason to claim there's war. The operation lasted all night. 19 violations. I thought 10 of Polish airspace were recorded and precisely tracked, but these are not final data. How does that feel as a Polish person? Any Polish viewers? How does it make you feel? Here's an image when it began. You can see the Shahed drones. Why do they fly like this? Why don't they fly over Belarus? Because probably Lukashenko doesn't want his public to be scared.
Breaking news overnight. What is it, Ellie?
Poland has shot down so-called Russian suicide drones that invaded its airspace overnight.
Now, this could be a...
The question is, what do these drones really want to achieve, right? Well, it could be testing if there's anti-air capabilities in Russia, in Poland. As Poland, I almost feel like, let them do their thing. I would be like, we have Russian drones here. Let them do their thing. Let's see what they do. See what they do. Let them kill something so we can invoke Article 5.
Escalation with NATO jets being scrambled to fend off what they've described as...
You guys ready for World War III, man?
Violations from the Russians.
I don't want to go.
Residents have been urged to stay indoors. Polish armed forces identified...
How real that is, right? That you live in a free country in Europe and they tell you can't leave the doors because there's drones. How fucked up is that? That gives us a bit of a whiff what Ukrainians must feel like, man. If they invoke Article 5, Russia is cooked. I always feel, I have this idea, I don't know if it's true, that behind the scenes there is adults talking. The Russians are talking to Europe and Americans, and there's like these adults that still are like, hey, let's not fucking go to World War III. I always hope so. Also, I kind of learned in my 34 years on this planet that a lot of people on this planet are children. Just because someone is 50 years old doesn't mean they're adults. There isn't many adults on this planet. Thank you, Zalazane and Astro, you crazy fucks.
And neutralized what was there.
Well, to tell us more, research fellow for the Henry Jackson Society, Andrew Fox, joins us. Morning to you, Andrew. What do we understand has happened in Poland overnight?
What are the videos?
So the reports we've got at the moment are that a number of drone-like objects entered Polish airspace from Russia as part of their huge attack on Ukraine. The Polish have had to close 4 of their national airports, and citizens in 3 regions in Poland have been told to take cover until this incident is completely resolved.
But Andrew, why would 4 objects enter Polish airspace? Would this be deliberate? Could this have been an accident?
It could have been an accident because obviously...
Come on, bro. You're a journalist?
See, Russia has hugely increased the number of drones it's firing Ukraine over recent weeks. The drone-like objects, we can assume they're probably something like the Shahid drones or the Garan 2, which is the Russian version of the Iranian drone that they purchased.
Must be fun though, man. You're training your entire life to fly jet, and you're always just training and training, and then whoop, whoop, Russian drones in airspace. So you're like da-da-down, da-da-down, and you can finally like. I feel like these jet fighters go home tonight and they're like, hell yeah, babushka, I shoot down drone today.
If it's deliberate, this would be very much in line with Russian tactics, because what they do is they probe and they test, never quite reaching the threshold where Article 5 of NATO can be called.
And you know my opinion, that we cannot let that happen. We can't let this Hitler scum in the Kremlin do what they want. And this is what I call out the West for 3 years now, that we don't have any balls. The problem is, the Mossad and Putin have proof that Trump fucked kids, so they have him by the balls. That's why Trump is never fucking doing anything, because they know too much about it.
Kind of military response is justified. So it's just enough to be deniable, but it's almost certainly a probe of NATO defenses to assess our readiness, and just to send a message that Russia is still a force to be reckoned with and concerned about.
But really, I don't understand. Why would they be probing Poland? What would the objective be?
So almost certainly to see how NATO reacts, what a Polish readiness states like in order to respond to an attack like this.
Yeah, but I feel like Russia never want to make this hot. It's just like a bit like, oh, we called Poland, oh, we're big bad Russia.
How ready are the Polish Air Force?
But once again, I might be very wrong, but Russia fucking struggles against Ukraine for 3 years. They cannot, and Putin even said this in an interview, they could never ever have a chance against an all-out conflict. They will never be able to. They might have the deterrence of a nuke, but I get what I see in these last years is Russia knows that they will never stand a chance if this goes hot. Only if they threaten with a nuke.
To defend themselves. What does NATO do more widely? Are they going to show unity? Or will countries like Hungary and Turkey, who are NATO members, continue to have a sort of conflicting line? What will Washington do? How will Mr. Trump respond? There are a number of questions. And
once again, I'm just gonna yap. It's the saddest thing on earth to me in my soul that Trump matters here. This is a very, very serious issue where adults are needed. Russia is doing something pretty fucked up. Poland and NATO has to react. And instantly we have to say, how will Trump react? Isn't that the saddest thing on earth, man?
Questions here.
That this guy is so important for all this very, very deep
in terms of its willingness and preparedness to defend against attack.
Well, it's being described as a major escalation in Europe. What do you think the response will be, not only from Poland, but from wider NATO?
Well, this is the challenge, because what can you do? You're not going to declare war over a number.
Putin is trying to provoke NATO, because most Russians still don't believe NATO is the real enemy. Millions of Russians who were neutral or even against it may change their minds if NATO comes in. One thing, if we study dictators, is that dictators wouldn't mind taking everyone down with them. That's always what you have to always remember. If you look at dictators and these psychopaths in power over history, they don't do stuff for the people. They don't want to protect Russia or Germany or China, right? They don't mind. And that's always a bit the scary thing for a population, man. If you have a dictator above you, man, whatever you think and believe in him, that guy will take you down with him. He does not give a shit. Thank you, cockfish.
A small number of drones. You're not going to have NATO retaliatory strikes against Russia at this point, because of course it's very difficult to prove the intent. Russia can simply claim it was a mistake, and NATO can offer a very stiff statement of condemnation, but I don't think it'll go any further than that at this time.
Thank you, Mr. M.
But where it will go further, I presume, is in Poland's state of readiness.
Absolutely. And
also, I want to be a good reactor. I'm not just gonna watch this and say nothing. And this is another point, my Polish friends, man, that we once again have to stand together in Europe, man. I know you guys are like, oh, the Europeans were taking all the refugees, man. You guys have like the least refugees, man. Holy shit. And then you vote for this guy who's super pro-Trump and anti-EU. We have to stick together in Europe, man. Germany, Poland, France, we're fucking brothers. We gotta stay together and we gotta overcome this hatred and this fucking isolation drive, and especially this fear-mongering that the refugees are the biggest fucking threat ever, man. If Poland now isolates itself with that new guy there, man, it's just not good for anyone, man. We gotta stand united, man, against this scum from the east.
Very clear very clear statements that they are prepared, that they've managed to shoot down these.
Like how they put all these newspapers here.
And of course, Poland probably has the strongest military in Europe right now. So
Afghanistan isn't worth fighting for. I think Germany is very, very worth fighting for. I think people that talk like you are 12-year-old kids that are on the internet all day and don't have any parents to take care of them. The whole world wants to come to Europe, man. Europe is fucking amazing compared to the rest of the world. At least we don't have the fucking dictator of fucking Trump here. This fucking childish talk all the time, man. Europe is lost, man. Where the fuck do you live?
The last ones that you should mess with.
Unfucking-believable.
You think it was a deliberate mess, though? Your instinct is this is a deliberate messing.
Yeah, I would assess that this is
what else would it be? You think they just pressed the wrong button in a video game?
The way they probe our airspace, the way they probe shipping in the North Sea, the way they hide arms caches over the borders in the Baltic regions. This is absolutely in line with how Russia operates. It's almost certainly a test for NATO.
The Z Telegram channels were going nuts at tonight when this was happening. They're like, yeah, let's go. It's time for special military operation into Europe. I don't think many of them are that crazy that they're like happy to go to war with Europe. But the thing with wars, which we see in Ukraine, is there's a thing called reality. Right, and when reality knocks at your door, all whatever the fuck happened in your life, whatever doctrines you are, whatever manipulation went in your head, when real life knocks at your door, man.
Drone strike last night over Poland. Norman Baker with their views with how the papers
Lisa made Hokkaido pumpkin soup. It's so good.
Well, I think it's scary, actually. I think it's deliberate. This is...
Okay, who are these people? I better just... Oh my god, who are these people, man? I don't give a fuck. Russian aviation conducted airstrikes at Olivka and Kherson. Crazy how this is all, like, known information, right? It's pretty insane. What's going on here? Oh, it's probably Donald Tusk is sending thoughts and prayers. Yeah, man, what the fuck? This was like 4 to 5 hours ago. Russia launched 415 Shahed drones, 42 cruise missiles, and 1 Iskander. Yeah. So much money, right? So much money they put in the air there. 3 fucking years, dude. Explosions in Kramatorsk, Donetsk. I'm scared, Tommy. I will sit here every single day, my brothers. I know that we are a generation that was raised nicely. We had the 90s and the early 2000s. We had Minecraft, Fortnite, and Pokemon. We had mothers that tucked us in at night. And the biggest tragedy was when the Fortnite servers were down. But one thing that is crystal clear in the history of democracy and freedom and the human fucking condition, is that if you are scared and look away and hide, tyranny, evil, and darkness always wins. And that's what we see right now. That's what we see for thousands of years in the human race. And it's hard. It's hard to do this, to not look away and have the balls to say something, not be scared. But the moment you are looking away from what the guy in Moscow is doing, he fucking wins, man. We gotta find our balls. We gotta find the understanding that we shouldn't be 12-year-old little non-sub twerps in the chat that go, Germany is dying, only a refugee here, man. But to understand how many millions of people died, that we have the life we have right now, and that it's worth protecting. That's why 17-hour stream, probably next week, all donations go not to Ukrainian refugees, whatever, it goes to Ukrainian army. We're gonna support a Ukrainian unit in their operation to buy fiber optics for more drones. We're gonna donate to the Ukrainian army. Hopefully next week. I should be ready next week for that. Drone debris, but no, like, videos and stuff. I have information. I have informed the NATO General Secretary about the current... It's always a bit of blah blah. I have informed NATO. Oh wow, it's crazy, man. I think it's so sad how we're never proud in Europe, man. These Russian Z-kids, look at Grisha. Russia! Everything for Russia! I will die for Russia! And then you go to America. I love Donald Trump! He might be a kitty fiddling fucking corrupt piece of shit, but I love Trump! And we Europeans, what is Europe, man? We're like, The problem is, in Europe, we still are a bit intelligent, right? So we see the more intelligent, the more depressed you are. Oh, fuck, man. The loud people are always the ones that hate everything. I hate Europe. I hate the refugees, man. What we need is a culture, an organization, a movement of people that raise the fucking European flag, man, and that are like, fuck Trump and fuck Putin. We must do educated moves and decisions to prepare ourselves to be ready for this and not just cower in a fucking Reddit channel like a bunch of fucking hobo mumpies. We have to unite Europe under one leader, a German leader. Oh, my window is open. Oh shit, I have to, oh shit. Anyway, So that happened, but there's like no more information about that with Poland.
Oh, this fine specimen is still watching. Check out this research to see more.